powerful being. True freedom lies within. Martin Luther King did not just have a dream, he had a plan. They just squashed it when it was getting in their pockets. And I'm here to say to you, listen, the revolution continues. And we have to listen to our elders and act upon the plan they gave us. We got to run the plan, but rather than just feeling good about how they expressed the plan. So we have to understand that there is more than to what we currently have going for us, because we already had several years of our ancestry doing the work ahead of time. So listen, all my healers, all my chosen ones, all the entrepreneurs who want to free ourselves through economic achievement, time to stand up. So this episode of Ed Talks Daily, I'm going to talk about the freedom that lies within you. The freedom is in you, and you have to step into your freedom. Your freedom is in you, and you have to step into your power. So keep listening to this episode of Ed Talks Daily.
Hello, powerful people. My name is Edouard Gilles, personal development speaker and talk show host. And I want to welcome you to this holistic experience called Ed Talks Daily Personal Development and Motivation. This podcast is all about growth in all aspects of your life. How do you solidify a great mindset that will lead to a healthy body, healthy relationships, and an in-tune spirit? Well, join me on this journey to becoming the best version of ourselves. If you want a podcast that you can relate to, a podcast that will motivate and inspire you, all while educating you on ways to personally develop and grow as a being, Ed Talks Daily is for you. Find Ed Talks Daily on your favorite podcast app and be sure to leave your thoughts in the form of a review.
As I talk about the freedom that lies within. So now, I'm sure all of you have heard of Martin Luther King's famous speech, I have a dream. And on this day, you're probably going to hear it all around the world, if not in your neighborhood. All the uncles, all your aunties probably going to play the I Have a Dream speech. In fact, today I was feeding on it just because I wanted to hear, let freedom ring, right? But a lot of people don't understand that. It's not just this famous I Have a Dream speech that we should remember Martin Luther King as, but it is the I have been to the mountaintop speech that you should look towards just as much. So if you go on YouTube, I want you to go and search Martin Luther King's final speech. I want you to type in the I have been to the mountaintop. Now, at a certain point, you go to the mountaintop, you go, when God communicates to you what the plan is, it's going to be scary. It's going to take a amount of courage. You're going to hear the strength in Dr. King's voice. Right? You hear the strength in his voice. It's like, I've seen the other side. But I know that what it takes is that I have to do this, regardless of what I'm fearing that's going to happen. I've been to the mountaintop. I've had the communion with God. I've been in touch with the divine. And I've seen what the plan is. I've seen what we need to do if we need to free ourselves. I see what we need to do if we're going to make them take us seriously. We got to take back our buying power. We got to take back our economic power. That's what he was saying. But a lot of people didn't get that message. So now when we celebrate Martin Luther King, we tend to forget. We tend to forget the truth about what he really spoke about. We tend to forget the truth about what he was really trying to tell us. We tend to forget that he was saying, hey, we as the people have the power within us to do what is necessary. We the people have the power within us to make the system mold to our desires. So now, it's not just a fight black against white. It's not the system against black people or against minorities. This is the system against humanity. The system is no longer simply against minority. The system is against humanity, and it's time for us to realize that if we're going to survive, we have to get together and work so we can thrive. If we're going to survive, we have to decide which systems are we going to defend and which systems are we going to fight for. Are we going to defend the old systems that does not serve us, or are we going to defend the new systems that we are creating? We got to decide where our money is going to go. Well, who are we going to invest into? Are we going to invest into the creators who are out there for us? Like Ralph Smart said, the real celebrities who are telling the truth, the celebrities like me and you, who's out there doing the work, helping people step into the truth and know what it is. Are we going to do that? Because the system will not even let you get out there. I'm doing this live video, have not shared my live video, and I know the system blocks you. But guess what we do? We don't let our voices tremble. Hey, they're going to try to mute you and quiet you, but you don't let your voices tremble, because though you walk through the what? You shall fear no evil, for thou art with you. Now, if you look at some of the greatest leaders in the world, I don't care what anybody else says about the Bible, but they had the power of life in their tongue, right? They walked with the book of life, and they knew that what they came here to do was bigger than themselves. They were led by a higher power, okay? So I want you to remember, the freedom that lies within you comes out when you realize that you are already free, and you are given a world where you can roam in freely. So now they're putting limitations on everything. Shoot, they're putting limitations on your voice, on your reach, how far you can reach. They want to block you out from the world. I'm speaking my truth here. Instagram definitely blocking me out from the world. But guess what we do? We show up anyways, whether they shadow ban you, whether they don't send your posts out, whatever they do, you find another way to go around this system, because the freedom lies within you. And if you're going to survive, if our DNA is going to thrive, it's going to be it's going to be your choice. You're going to have to do something about it. So somebody says, yo, listen, when you do not set a boundary, you are giving them approval. Listen, I want to say this again. When you do not set a boundary, when you do not say enough is enough, I'm not accepting this, when you do not, if you don't say anything about what you don't accept, it's like saying you accept it. If you don't say anything about what you don't accept, it's like saying you accept it. So guess what? To not speak your truth is to give consent. And right now they want to put you in slavery. They want to lock you down forever. They don't want to let you know that they want to enslave you and lock you down forever. But you got to realize true freedom lies within you. And the moment that you decide that, listen, I get to choose my body, I get to choose what I put in my body. The moment you get to decide my family, I get to choose how I lead my family. The moment you decide my health, I get to choose what I do, is the moment you take back your power. The moment you say, hey, I'm not going to give my power to a job or an institution, it's me. It's in me for me to create my own legacy. That's your power. The moment you decide where your money goes to, listen, you don't like the system, stop spending your money on it. Somebody says, I don't like this business, I don't like how they treat me, but you walk in that business, you spend your money in that business every single day. If you don't like them, why are you doing business with them? So when you realize the power is in you, you realize that, listen, I am not going to invest in my oppressor's tool to oppress me. Let's repeat that. Why would I invest in your oppressing tool to oppress me? Somebody says, I'm going to buy some stock market in the prison. Yeah, you're going to make some money, but you're paying your oppressor to oppress your people. That makes no sense. So guess what? Martin Luther King knew what it was. He was like, listen, if we really want to get these white people and make them understand this colonial mentality is not going to work with us, we have to say the power lies in my pocket. So Martin Luther King didn't just have a dream, he had a plan. We're just not running it. Okay? What we're doing is we're running to the jeweler. We're running to the people who's enslaving us, rather than running to the people who, here's what we need to do in this new era, and we have to continue it. And I'm going to speak the truth, because I've been to the mountaintop too. And the mountaintop is my spirit within me is telling me this. In order for us to free ourselves, we have to invest in each other. We have to invest in the people that are investing into us, and not the people who's lying to us. That is your friends. That is the healer next to you. That is the person who you watch daily that tells you the truth about things. Buy their products. Buy their services. You have to start to say, hey, listen, this system is not even working for me. Why am I spending my money on them? But you out here giving Amazon all your doggone money, and Jeff Bezos said, listen, this is what he said. This man says, you pay for my trip to space. They trying to go to space and leave your ass down here on Earth, and you paying for their trip? Ain't that deep? It's very deep, y'all. So if you want to invest in the people that's fighting for your freedoms daily. Because you walk right past them and you go to Amazon. You walk right past the herbs and you go right to the, you know what I'm saying? So you have to make a determined and deliberate effort that, your power does not just lie in you, it lies in your pocket. And how you choose to spend your money means this is what you value. This is what you want to keep going. Because you're like, you know what? I'm going to give them my money. Give the system all your money. The system gets stronger and bigger. And you're like, I don't think, no. Listen, if you stand on something, stand on it with your money. You're like, if you stand on something, stand on it with your money. Invest your money in what you stand for. You're like, I stand for this, but I'm going to invest in that. You see, that's what it is. Now, black people are we spend some of the most money here in this world. And in this country. We spend a lot of money. And guess what? They have something that's been circulating on how to sell to the Negro. And that's how it's spelled, because it was back in 1940. And guess what? A lot of us, our self-confidence is tied to a brand that literally brands us like a cattle. Listen, a brand comes from the idea that if you had a horse and you had an animal, you take a really hot rod and you brand them, and then you'd have your logo, your company logo, to say, this is my animal. Now, this is what the economic system is doing to you. I need to indulge in all of these things. Listen, you wear their logo, and they're saying, you are my economic slave because you can't wait to get your next Prada fix, or your next Birkin fix, or your next Gucci fix. So you out here like a horse wearing the brand of your master. And then you're like, that makes you have your higher self-confidence. But your friend right next to you launched their own brand that's about peace and love and positivity and waiting, but you're not buying their brand. But you're like, no, I need to get that Gucci. You could buy 20 of your friends' brands with the one brand you bought from the white man. Let me say it just like that. You can buy 20 of your friends' brand with the same money you spend on people who don't have your best interests at heart. So we got to really think back that, listen, the true freedom lies within you, but you got to step into the truth. Y'all share this video to 5 friends and comment done. Instagram ain't sharing my posts. They know what's up, but guess what, Instagram? Listen, you can't do nothing, Instagram, because I am blessed and I'm divinely guided. And what I got to say, the sword is in my mouth, and I'm speaking that sword, Graham. So you want to block me out? You can't do shit about it. So you better spread my video, because the world needs this message. Here's what happened. People mindset, since you was in middle school, since you were in elementary school, your self-worth has been tied to the things that you buy. I remember you had to have that Jordan, the Nike, the Air Forces. You had to swag out, man. You can't wait to get to school. Like, you're not even going to school for education. You're trying to go to school for fashion here. You're like, I can't wait till I get my nice little shoes on, look good, and if you had some Shacks on, if you had some one New Balance shoes or something, that ain't rocking with them, right? Guess what? Guess who Shaq was? Shaq was a black man. But we out here, we need to get the white man's product. You know what I'm saying? That makes no sense. And that's the mentality, the slave mentality of, I find my worth and they're branding. And they're branding you, literally. You're walking around standing for something you're standing with your chest up high, feeling confident because you're wearing your master's brand. And your master's laughing at you in the back. You're like, look, I didn't even create it for them. Look, but look at that. So what am I saying here? I'm saying if we're going to have a new evolution, and listen, our ancestors planned the foundation, and it's up to us to build the house. Our ancestors planted the foundation, but it's up to us to build the house. We're like, You know what? I can't find the tools to build the house. You know what? They built the whole foundation. They had to fight out the weeds. They had to go to war and battle. Their sweat and blood is underneath the foundation, underneath the concrete of this current. And you mean to tell me you can't find the tool to build the house? Listen, your freedom is on the other side of your ancestry. Your freedom is, look, your ancestors laid the foundation, but it's up to you to lay the bricks. Your ancestors told you what it was. Martin Luther King didn't just have a dream, he had a plan, but he left it up to us to run it. But that's what we're doing. We're not running no plan right now. What we're doing is we're running the TikTok. What we're doing is we're running to the Birkin place, the Gucci spot. And we run into the masters to go get branded when we need to create our own brands. When we need to create brands that have values for our own people. We're like, oh, you know what? If I look good, I'm like, no, why don't you go and buy 10 of your friends' products? Because guess what? Your friends every single day, those people, they're the people speaking the truth. You're like, there's 5, 10 influencers that have a good impact on my life. You never went to their shop once. You could have saved that one money you bought on that belt, and you could have bought 20 of their products. In fact, you could have invested in your health 5 years ago if you would have stopped spending money on bullshit. But you're like, hey, I need to look good because that's how it looks like on Love and Hip Hop. Oh, I need to look good because I'm hearing all these songs and that's what's hip. But guess what? How far, you want to know how far the rabbit hole goes? It was all intentional. You're like, hey, this is what it's in the music, but you don't know that, listen, your oppressors don't only build the place for you to go spend your money that you spent with your life. You spent your life to get the money, and you take the money and you give it back to them for them to withdraw more of your life. And then they go and do a whole cycle to reprogram you and your kids to want to do the same. That's how this system goes, y'all. You're like, yo, okay, I'm going to spend 40 years. They say most people start living from 18 to 65. They really just start getting out there, but they literally, they died at 18, but they didn't get buried till they were 65 because they spent their entire life slaving to the system. And then they spend their life's earning, which means they spend their life back to the system. They pay the bills for this, and they never got nothing out of it and left nothing for their kids and future generations. That is complete insanity. You mean to tell me you're going to enslave me, and then you're going to take my earnings from the enslavement, and then now I'm going to give it back to you, and then you're going to take that and enslave the next generation too? And you're going to go with that. And you're going to agree with that because you want to look good in the eye of a person that is not woke, but only listens to a song and says, oh, because the song says this, because the hot girl mentality says that, I got to be like that. And you care about more somebody's programmed opinion than you care about truth. I'm going in today. There should be 200 people on this live. You care more about a programmed opinion more than you care about truth. Because you've been programmed for so long. Free yourself from mental slavery. True freedom lies in the mind. Somebody says, yo, I'm scared, Ed. I don't know. I can't speak the truth. Listen, you can speak your truth. They can't come for all of us. And you are divinely guided. You are divinely protected. No fear. We do not operate in the spirit of fear. We operate in the spirit of courage, effort, and strength. We do not, let's say that again. We do not operate in the spirit of fear. We operate in the spirit of courage, effort, and strength. The power lies within you. We're living in a world where if you do not grow, listen, it's going to be a dog-eat-dog society. It's either you're rich and you're poor. It's either you're really rich or you're poor with no access. It's either you conform and you can do things, or you don't conform and you're stayed away from things. This is when you're going to have to decide, hey, if you're saying that in order for me to participate in your system, I have to omit my human right of being free, you're going to have to opt out at some point. And this is what the next revolution is going to be, is opting out the system. Saying, hey, oh, you mean to tell me I have to give up my freedom to be part of it? I have to go to the metaverse in order to do anything? Guess what? I don't like the metaverse. I like the real universe. I want to I want to breathe in some of that real oxygen, that real sunlight. I need some real plants. I need some real food. I'm not giving into that. So guess what? At some point in your life, you're going to have to determine that again. Martin Luther King did not have a dream. He had a plan, and it's up to you to run it. But guess what? They like when you talk about dreams, but the moment you come with a plan, that man can't stay no more. Listen, I can talk my shit now as much as I want, but wait till I get millions and billions to back it up. Somebody's mad. Oh man, this black man got money. Guess what? You gotta start putting money behind your words. Somebody says like, yo, you gotta put money behind your words. You gotta put your action behind your words, what you invest into. Somebody says, what should I be investing? You should invest into stuff that can sustain your life. Somebody says, yo, I need a farm with a well on it. I need foods and herbs so my family can eat. You need to think about, how do I sustain my life, not how do I sustain my ego and class, and this is classism society. Or somebody says, yo, man, you know what? I don't care about sustaining my life. I got Birkin bags and Gucci belts and Yeezys on my feet, and I got chains. And let me ask you a question. Can you eat off the Yeezys and the Birkin and the gold chain? But guess what? You could have spent that same money you bought that gold chain with on something that could sustain your family for the future generations. In fact, you should start investing your money into stuff you believe in. Some people say, I just want to make money. So they out here buying all types of stuff. All types of digital goods that probably don't... Listen, even in the stock market, you should not just think about the money. Think about it. Should I give the company that's killing... Listen, there was this thing about some drug that just killed a lot of people. I forgot the name of the drug, but it's very common. It's called Oxycontin, right? Kind of named after oxytocin. Oxycontin. And there's a documentary about it. Think about it. You're like, man, I just want to make some money. What if you were the person who was unconsciously buying stocks, investing into a company, making them more rich than they already are because you want to make more money? When you could have taken that money and look at some companies that were actually doing something positive in the world and invest in them. So we got to think differently, y'all. We really have to start to think about where our money goes. We have to think about what we invest into. We have to think about who we let get bigger in here in society. Okay? So what you choose to invest in is going to tell you where your value lies. Okay? Who you choose to invest in tells what you value. Who you choose to invest in is going to say a lot about what you value. So listen, Martin Luther King did not just have a dream, he had a plan. It's up to us to run it. So like somebody says, hey, this is not just about civil rights. Listen, at first it was like, it was a battle against races. Now it's a battle against humanity. So we can't be separated anymore, try to fight this one. It has to be a collective raising of vibration. It ain't black against white. It's not black against white. We got to come together. We got to have both sides work together in order to fight this demonic tie on this earth that wants us to feel nothing, have nothing, own nothing, and just be happy by following rules that does not even help us grow. A system that wants us to be nothing, face nothing, feel nothing, have nothing, and be happy. Be nothing, love nothing, have nothing, and be happy. This is the world that they want you to live in. And they want you to live in the fakest... Listen, they build a fake digital world. They build a fake world in your mind, and now they want you to go and live in it. They created universes that was completely fictional. They made complete characters to create a whole paradigm and mentality, and they want you to actually be in it digitally. And that's happening. And there's going to be a time where you're going to have to say, no, it's my body, my choices. There's going to be a time when you say, no, God already blessed us with a beautiful earth. Why do we need your digital earth, of which you are the ruler and king? I am a ruler and king in my own domain. I was given an earth and said, hey, listen, you manage it. God gave you the whole earth and said, listen, you are a human, and because you are another human being, you here manage it. And they're saying, hey, listen, why don't you come and manage some space in my digital verse? and you're like, oh, let me go run. I'm not saying we can't grow with technology, but I'm saying recognize whether technology is progressive or distractive. You have to see it. Because we're working on one thing, they're distracted with another thing. It's like they're dangling, little prize in front of it. Oh, you know what? We're trying to work for our freedoms and saving ourselves, and they're like, oh, listen, why don't you spend your money and making money on something that's not even a real thing, but you know, it serves as a real thing. You know, just spend all your money, spend all your time, focus your energy on this fake stuff, but let's forget about the real stuff that's happening. Let's just completely forget about it. But listen, if you really do this, you're gonna make a lot of money. But listen, don't deal with the real issues. That's what they want you to do. They want to distract you with something that glitters, that ain't gold, and there's real gold right here that you need to dig up. The gold is right here. There's still your gold in the real world, but they're like, listen, oh look, we got actually glitter, and if you wait enough, we promise you domination. But when we realize that, yo, I need to start to get my feet out here in nature and start digging for the real gold, that's when you are starting to wake up. Most of us were not in that. We get so pulled by new things. It sounds so much like opportunity that we're not realizing what the true opportunity is. So guess what? While people need to invest in real land with running water and food, they're actually buying digital land because they're like, yo, I'm gonna get more money out of that. Hey, you're gonna get more money, but guess what? What if all your money, it can't be used anymore? What if money goes, oh, we can't even use no money? What if there's nothing about the money? Now you have nothing. You just have digital stuff. But guess what? If you have real world tangible stuff, you can actually say, hey, you know what? I'm going to create my own land. I'm going to create a whole ecosystem here. And I'm going to bring the people, my tribe here. And this is how I'm going to live off the earth. I'm going to live in real life. We're going to build our own stuff. Listen, I can't get access to this stuff, but I've sustained. Like, you got to think strategically. Listen, some stuff will look like great opportunities, and they might be. In fact, there might be great. There are ways to merge reality with this new false reality that we have. There is a way, easily, and there's many ways you could actually come up off this so that you can take it, but don't let it be a distraction. I'm saying, like, look, you can use NFT to build money. You can build NFT to attach it to something that's a physical thing. In fact, you can have a digital good back up a real life thing. You know, that's a real thing. There's nothing wrong or right with it, but it's the moment where you let money become your master that you forget that you're the master of your money. Because money is a representation of energy, and energy comes first. Energy can never be created nor destroyed. Money can. So it's your energy that creates the money. So the moment you realize that, you are very conscious about what you give your energy to. Because your energy is your life. So you spend all your life giving it to something fake, you're going to live in a fake world all your life. You're not even realizing it. But if you consciously say, I'm going to utilize some of these fake things to bring real things, then you are being smart. You are being conscious and you're utilizing it. So I'm saying this to say this. Listen, we are fighting the battle differently, but it's the same battle, just different details. And it's going to take the same courage, the same effort that our ancestors had, but it's going to take different strategies. And it can't be done by one person. It can't be done by one leader. This next movement is not a civil rights movement, but it's a human rights movement. Human rights. Because your very rights are in jeopardy, and people are sacrificing their rights for the ability to go to a restaurant and eat. Is it that sad? That is just absurd. And guess what? Those who have ears, let them hear. Because I'm saying this message, they don't want me to say it. I know they don't want me to say it because Instagram only share my posts for 4 people. I'm calling them out. Instagram is doing this on purpose. Guess what we do? Listen, let me tell you something. We don't need your platform, Instagram, because we are the platform. Without us, you don't have any content, so you better treat us correctly. Okay, this is the next movement. I'm going to say for Martin Luther King. If you're not going to allow us to speak our truth, we're not going to speak it on your platform. And guess who's going to lose? You're going to lose. Because when we leave, people are going to leave with us. So you better start treating us right, Instagram, because the movement never stopped. It always continues. And guess what? This new generation ain't playing around by any means necessary. That's my message, and I'm sticking to it. It's the holistic motivator. Y'all stay in your power, remember? Do not operate out of the spirit of fear. Martin Luther King did not just have a dream. Martin Luther King had a plan, and it's up to us to not just have a dream. Martin Luther King had a plan, and it's up to us to run it. He gave us the blueprint. He said it. He said, listen, if they're not going to give you what you want, don't give them what they want. Because you're giving them energy every time you give it to them. And guess what your most important energy? Your attention. Not just your money, your attention. Who do you follow? What are you watching? Listen, if you stop watching them, they got no attention now. So that's how you change. Listen, you change what you give your attention to, what you spend your money on. They're going to have to evolve. Listen, if you have a couple of companies that say, man, these companies ain't serving the world at all, let's all stop buying from them. Start supporting those upcoming creators and see what happens. Shoot, listen, if you spend your money based on what was in people's hearts, you'd be changed. I had a quote. I put a quote yesterday. My pause for pull up the quote. I wrote this quote yesterday. It came down to me. So I'm saying this. Listen, the revolution was never gone. We just stopped evolving. we just let it go by the wayside. All right. We just got so lost and like, oh, they finally accepted us, but you thought they accepted you, but they lied, you know? And you're like, oh man, they really accepted us. We're really free. Listen, if you want somebody to stop fighting their freedom, lie to them and tell them they're free. and put the chains. Listen, they took physical chains, turned it to mental ones, and you think you're free. If you want to be free, you can't just... Freedom is not when you break out of physical chains, but it's when you break yourself out of the mental barriers. All right? I'm telling y'all. Okay, but this is my message I'm sticking to. I'm looking for this quote here, and I spoke my truth today. Listen, you're so busy. Here's what it says. You're so busy checking for people's pockets, you're not checking people's hearts and minds. So many of us, we're trying to see whether somebody's valuable based whether they have money or not, whether they're a millionaire or not. Well, you're not even checking their heart. You're following people because they got gold, and you're not following them because they got gems. And that's why our entire world is being led astray. Because you're like, oh my goodness, they got gold on them. They must have something that I need. You know, they have something that you need, but it's the gem that you need that was going to transform your life. A lot of people are not willing to listen to truth because they're so distracted by eye candy. You're so busy checking for people's pockets to determine their worth that you're not checking for people's minds and hearts. And the moment you let the truth resonate with your spirit, you follow not because of what a man has in his pockets, but because of what you see in a man's spirit. And that way you know you'll be led to the right. Some of you, you're being led at the slaughterhouse for the promise of money. You're like, oh my goodness, I'll get all this money. But you're literally slowly being led to the slaughterhouse because they have promised you money at the end. Those who have ears, let them hear. I could go all day. The message never stops because I am the message. I used to be scared. I no longer operate out of the spirit of fear. All right, y'all. Y'all have a blessed day. Stay blessed. Stay in your power. And remember, you have the unlimited power within you. The true freedom lies in you. It's all up in you. You're free right now when you realize it. Yo, I'm about to go and work on my plans. I got food all here. I'm practicing what I'm preaching. Because Martin Luther King did not just have a dream. He had a plan, and it's up to us to run it. Thank y'all for watching here. Shoot.
I want to remind you that you have unlimited power within you to achieve whatever it is that you want and to construct the person you want to be. But first, you must believe it in order to achieve it. And until that happens, the world will forever miss your talents, your gifts, and all the great things that you have to offer. So let your light shine, don't hide it, don't dim it. Thank you. Find Ed Talks Daily on your favorite podcast app and be sure to leave your thoughts in the form of review. Until next time, remain in your unlimited power.